Hello. Right, this video is going to go through two more pretty clever things you can do with Inventor, which is called revolving and shelling. Revolving is basically taking a shape and spinning it round a point to make a 3D shape from it. It will make more sense when you see it. And shelling is making a 3D shape and then being able to scoop out the insides of it to make like a hollow shell. So we're going to start with shelling. Open up Inventor if you haven't already got it. Click home if you don't already see this screen. So home is up here and home will always bring you to this, and we're going to start with a part. Okay, so click part, let it load. Now you can choose to save this or not, it's down to you, but this is just a skills test at the moment, so I'll leave it down to you whether you want to save it. Okay, shelling is dead easy to use. So all I'm going to do is start by drawing a cube. So we start all drawings with a sketch. So we click Start Sketch up here, pick one of the work planes to draw on. I'm going to pick this guy, and I'm going to draw myself a rectangle, and I'm going to make it 100. So I'm literally just typing on the keyboard 100 and then pressing Tab on the keyboard and typing 100 again and hitting Enter. Now if I use the scroll on my mouse to zoom out, you'll see that I've made a 100 by 100 square. Finish that. And the next step is I'm going to extrude it and make it three-dimensional. So I go up to extrude, and I'm going to extrude it 50 millimeters. Now, if you don't see this little box up here in your mode of Inventor, there might be a small box with a little arrow. Just click that black arrow and this should all appear, okay? But anyway, I'm going to make it 50 millimeters. There we go. And just to add a little bit more interest to this, I'm going to add some other features that you might remember. So I'm going to put a fillet on each of these corners. So we go up to the fillet tool. I'm going to set my fillet to 10, and then I'm going to start picking edges. So I'm going to pick that edge, that edge, that edge, spin my view around by holding Shift and clicking and holding the middle button. And I'm going to pick that edge as well. So I'm going to put a fillet on there, and on the bottom I'm going to put a chamfer. So if we go up, we've got this tool called chamfer, and I'm going to set that also but to 20, and I'm going to put my chamfer on the edges it's asking me to pick. So it's automatically picked that whole range of edges there. Now interestingly it won't let me do 20, so I'm going to try 10. There we go, that's better. I think 20 was too much for the angle. Okay, now if you are going to do this shelling thing, i.e. scooping out the material, you need to do it before you do anything else. Sorry, what I mean is you need to put on rounded corners, chamfers, any other features before you do the shelling, otherwise it can cause problems. So anyway, when you've got your object, shelling is this tool here, very easy. Click on it, and it asks you to choose a face. So it's saying which face do you want to scoop. So imagine you were going to put ice cream on it. Imagine this was a bowl of ice cream and you were going to scoop the ice cream out. It's asking which face do you want to scoop out. So I'm going to choose this top one. And it's saying, right, what thickness of wool, i.e. between here and here, do you want left behind? Now that's down to you, but I'm just going to choose 3 millimeters. So for instance, if I was 3D printing something, making a box, then 3 millimeters is about the minimum you want to go. Any smaller than that, it won't have much strength. Click OK, and that's it. That is how you shell. You can actually shell in two directions, which is quite easy. So I'm just going to press Ctrl Z and undo. So I could shell by clicking the top, turning round, and before I click OK, clicking the bottom, and you can see what that's going to do. That's going to hollow out the top and the bottom, nice and easily. Equally, I could shell sideways, right? Maybe I want my box to be open that way. So the face I'm going to pick. Now, interestingly, if I shell this, it won't let me do it because of the rounded edges. Actually, you can see what it's done there. It's kind of made them as two separate objects. So play around with shell. It's another tool that you can use in your Inventor skill set. But we're also going to show you revolve in this video. So if you're done with your shelling experience, click the little X and close it unless you want to save it. I'm going to click no. And make yourself another part. So I'm going to click part. Right, revolving kind of does what the picture says here. If you hover over it, it will take a shape and spin it around an axis. And what we're actually going to do is make this thing that they've put in that little animation there, and that will make it very clear for you. So start with a sketch. Pick one of the work planes. I'm just going to pick this vertical one. And I'd like you to get the circle tool. Click move and make me a 30mm circle. And then what I want you to do is get the line tool. And starting at the top of the circle, drawing right down to the bottom, draw a line through the circle. You can right click and choose OK to deselect the tool. And now we're going to delete this right hand half of the circle. The easiest way to do that is with this tool called trim. Okay, so you see I've now, and I'm going to right click OK, I've now made a half a circle. The next thing I'm going to do is make another shape around this. All right, so I'm going to do it with the box. Okay, I'm going to draw a box like that, and I'm going to, in fact, you know what, I'm not bothered about the size on this. I just want you to draw a box that looks roughly like that. Okay, and I want you to get your box and join it from there and just drag it past your circle. Okay, I'm not bothered about the sizes as long as it looks approximately that sort of shape and size. Go and get your trim tool again, and now I want you to trim away this bit, that little bit of the circle, that bit, and that bit. You may have to click this line twice. So what you're looking for is one kind of outline. Can you see? Following it with the mouse. One continuous outline. Right, when you've made that guy, that doesn't look like much at the moment, but we're going to finish it and revolve it. So we click Finish Sketch. We click Revolve this time. Now, normally we'd choose Extrude, right? And we know what Extrude would do. It would allow us to make that shape just in one direction. However, we're going to choose Revolve. So click Revolve. Now it's automatically picked the profile for us, and it's got in red, select an axis. This means a point at which you want to rotate that shape around. Now I'm going to pick any of the lines along here. And if we do that, you will see what it's done. If I grab this arrow, it might be a bit clearer to you, and sort of rewind it. What it does is it takes that shape and spins it around the axis you've chosen, 360 degrees if you choose, and then you end up with that part there, okay, which looks like a sort of ball within a chamber kind of effect, okay. Not much use to us at the moment, but it's a very useful tool. Now you can choose the angle as well. If you just wanted 90 degrees, you can go over here and type an angle, look, and just say 90. There we go. And whatever the hell that is, I've got a quarter of this weird ball and socket kind of assembly. Okay, so that is the Revolve tool. Now before I commit to it, you can choose any different place for your axis. So if I click Revolve, but rather than choose that as my axis, if I choose this, you'll see I get a very different shape. Okay. Equally, I could choose Revolve and pick that as my axis, and now we've ended up with that. And you get the idea. So have a play around with the Revolve tool, make yourself some shapes, and then, you know, you could even shell it out. Okay, there you go. You've made some weird kind of bowl with a hole in it. I don't know, eating Chinese, put your chopsticks in the middle. Not quite sure what we could use that for, but it's another skill you can use. So thank you for following that. You've now learned how to do shelling and how to do revolving, and also how to add fillets and chamfers. And if you can do that and extrusion, you probably know about half of the basics, I'd say, of what you can do within Inventor. So good job. Save it if you want to keep it. If not, mess around. Not mess around, but mess around with Inventor and see what you can come up with.